let's talk about the situation over in Lampedusa. Now, this little Italian island that's wedged between Malta and Tunisia is experiencing some troubles, to say the least. I think you guys have covered it briefly the other day with Callum. So if you see clips that you've already seen, I'm very sorry. But I wanted to expand on it because actually it's gotten very, very serious to the point of, something needs to be done.
Already very serious.
Yes.
The most that I've looked into it is that I know that over the course of 24 hours, 10,000 people arrived on boats, immediately started asking for things, begging for money, harassing the natives of the island, and asking to be sent deeper into Europe. And then the police were sent out, and I saw some videos of people with riot shields trying to push them back, and that was all last week. I think I saw them.
Well, it's gotten a bit worse since then, but we're gonna turn back the clock and we're gonna start with what happened. So,
as you may know, YouTube arbitrarily demonetized our channel, so I'd like to thank Lotus.com's first sponsor, Atlas VPN, for supporting us and providing a service that is actually useful as we move into our new cyberpunk dystopia. Atlas VPN Premium is just $1.83 per month, with 3 months extra and a 30-day money-back guarantee if you aren't happy with the service. Follow the link in the description to sign up. You'll be liberated from region locks, so you can watch streaming content from anywhere in the world, but I think more importantly is that it masks your IP. Firstly, this prevents us from being spied upon by the various state dragnets. We find it important that it keeps your Google searches private, which prevents them from tailoring the results based on your past searches, which prevents them from hiding information because they've built up a profile against us. It also protects you from being the target of malicious ads, trackers, and malware, and informs you when someone is trying to steal your data. There has been a spate of people getting their accounts hacked recently, and Atlas VPN helps protect against that. Atlas VPN is also easy to install. Even I could do it without assistance. What you're seeing now is the footage I recorded of myself installing the thing. Once you're logged in, you can see that you just need to click on the location that you want to tell the internet where you want to be from, and you're all set. To repeat then, Atlas VPN Premium is just $1.83 per month with a 3-month extra and a 30-day money-back guarantee if you aren't happy with the service. Follow the link in the video description to sign up, and remember, supporting them is supporting us, so please do check them out.
So like you said, on the first day, we had about 120 small boats arrive on this tiny little island, carrying around 7,000 people initially to start with. Some were reporting like 8,000, some were reporting 6,000, so we'll go with 7,000 as the sort of happy median. Now, I had no idea that this was happening all of last week until very recently, until people started to show on Twitter what was actually going on. But to start with, I thought that I would just quickly say, there's going to be a lot of clips to show yourself and to show the viewers, because the media aren't going to show the reality of the situation. And I'll show you the contrast between the two.
It's worth pointing out as well that the online safety bill that just passed, I know I already covered it yesterday, but it includes a provision in there where, snuck among a lot of other provisions that most people would be in support of, making it so you can't promote or share self-harm, suicide, child sexual exploitation material on social media websites. They also put in there footage of illegal immigration. So that's very interesting, because it's very clear that the governments don't want you to be able to share this kind of footage, because it is a bit damaging.
A little bit, to say the least. But according to AP, thousands of migrants and refugees landed on the Italian island of Lampedusa this week. So it was last week on the 15th, after crossing the Mediterranean Sea on small unseaworthy boats from Tunisia, overwhelming local authorities and aid organizations. Scenes of chaos at an overcrowded reception center in Lampedusa have provoked both solidarity and anger, with fingers pointing blame at not just people smugglers, but also Italian Premier Giorgia Meloni, European officials, and their Tunisian partner. Now, it's important to remember that Giorgia Meloni ran on the ticket to stop this from happening. And a lot of people, especially in Italy,
she even suggested that she would be lining up the Navy across the Mediterranean Sea to prevent this sort of thing. Then, outside of even the illegal migration, she decided, you know what, let's give almost 500,000 visas to new arrivals from outside the EU soon. That's great, thank you.
So a lot of people felt a bit betrayed by what she was saying. If I go to the next part, this was the scale of what happened. So this was
invasion.
Yeah.
This is literally under any other time period other than our current global regime administered by the Americans, the American government, I should say, of universal human rights. This would be an invasion, but under this is just natural global migration.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So this was the arrival. And then after this, police tried to contain the situation. And this, I believe, is the video that you mentioned where the Italian police is really trying to contain migrants, which this has just been a continuous thing since the actual arrival. So, to say the least, this is day one, by the way. This is completely day one. And we're now a week and a half into this invasion. And I think invasion is the correct term, complete correct term.
Yes, it is.
Well, the Red Cross was there to try and help, but yet a fight broke out. Which, yeah.
NGOs and other organizations would like you to believe that these people, every single one of them, will be nothing but an economic benefit to your country, will help to promote social cohesion, will be somebody who can integrate into your neighborhood peacefully. Do you believe that? If you do believe that, if you absolutely 100% with all of your heart think that this will go well, go back to sleep, switch off.
Well, saying that, here's the situation on the first week. This was actually at the night of day one, where these are the migrants standing out. This is a panoramic shot of the situation. We don't really need to play the sound, which is absolutely fine. But it's serious. Do you see any women or children in the crowd?
Why would I? Why would they, when they are economic thieves coming over here to steal money, receive benefits from the government? The funny thing is that most previous invasions in the past would have been people coming over here so that they could conquer and rule and extract resources. These people are looking to extract resources, but they're not looking to rule. The people who are conquered are the native populations by their own government, and these people are just being imported in. These people are not conquerors. They're coming over here to say, please give me money.
A fight then broke out within the, I believe the shelter where I believe that's bottles of water and everything was thrown around. So that was, I believe, day one or day two. And
things that wouldn't be out of place in your average 1970s Waitrose, obviously.
And then the next day, 1,000 more boats turned up, unfortunately. I say 1,000 people.
30 more boats.
With 30 more boats. Apologies. And
who's sourcing these? Who's doing this?
Well, here's the thing. I think because it's so lax on the island that many of the, I think dependents is too much of a polite term, but many, I think, just realized, actually, we can get away with doing this. So more had turned up, and as you can see, I don't think that
and these
refugees.
people, they certainly don't look as though they've been living in incredibly harsh conditions for their entire life. I don't see. We joke and say that can't see a single woman or child among them. I can't see a single one of them that could even be described as hungry. Every single one of them looks very well fed. They're all quite well built. They're all in decent shape. Fighting age men, as people like to say.
Yeah.
If I'm expecting to accept thousands of refugees, I want physical evidence of just them looking like they need our help. These people do not need our help for anything other than just free money, free benefits.
Mm-hmm. Well, funny you say that. These women, allegedly, are not from the island. They're actually tourists. And, well, they're dancing with the migrants at I believe, a festival to signify that, refugees welcome, basically. That we're not in any danger at all, and that it's completely okay.
I hate everyone in this video. Every single person in this video, anybody who wasn't one of the police officers picking up a shield or a weapon and fighting back, I hate you.
So, to add, I think it's wrong that I think it's completely wrong because this. What I'm actually getting really annoyed because I am
infuriating just to look at, isn't it?
Because this actually fuels the problem. This is actually it's encouragement, right? So it does annoy me when I see things like this because they're tourists. Allegedly, they're tourists, so they're not from the island. They're not residents. Allegedly, so
it wouldn't be beyond internationalist NGOs to send people in as tourists to fan the flames of this and basically offering a welcome party to these people. They've been known to do things like that before.
Yeah, absolutely. And you could be called a conspiracy theorist for all that nonsense as well. Well, funny that because they are actually laughing at the country that has actually offered them refuge. Boza, I believe. I tried to look up what Boza is, and I believe it's a type of person in North Africa. So I thought it was a drink at first, an Arabic drink, and I thought, why are they saying drink-free Tunisia? But no, it's a type of person in North Africa, and
no country outside of Africa needs any of these men. These men will not help you. They will not be of any benefit to you. They will not enhance social cohesion. They will not enhance your cultural enrichment. They will hurt you.
Yeah, and the residents. Sorry, this is so based.
I'm saying it how it is.
Italian residents aren't happy, naturally. Where obviously we're not going to place because I don't know Italian, but according to this account, Radio Genoa, the translation says, "Stop the invasion. You journalists say they are refugees. False. They are not refugees." And many people are upset. And I did read earlier, I should have included this in the article, in the presentation, but there were residents that had never protested for or against illegal immigration or immigration of such sense ever, but they felt because of this situation, their family depends on it, their livelihoods depend on it. Because remember, this tiny island of Lampedusa has a population of 6,000. 6,000, the population. And we'll find the proper figures, but I believe we're up to now 15,000 migrants.
So they're almost outnumbered 3 to 1.
Yes.
That's absolutely disgusting that any government would allow this to happen to their own population. The sorts of people who are going out and saying something about it, good on you, because there's very little that you can do about it, sadly, because I know that if you did try and put up some kind of physical resistance, not only are you outnumbered, but in all likelihood, your own government would come against you before they would do anything to protect you from these invaders.
Well, the deputy mayor of Lampedusa said, according to this account, refugees are not welcome. Lampedusa must be free. We want to live from tourism and fishing, nothing more. And that's, of course, you can tell by the way he's speaking that he's not very happy. And obviously, I don't know Italian. So
he's moving his hands a lot, so I can tell he's speaking Italian.
Yeah, you could tell. Yeah, I'm waiting for the the classic. This is what I wanted to show you as well. Apparently, according to this account, that this man was migrated to Lampedusa and after has since come to Rome, and that is a water fountain, I believe.
And he's just,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Got it on. Yeah, there we go.
Figa questo.
Yeah,
Non se l'hai mai incita molta, biot. Roba da matti, figa.
have to look at it because I am. There you have it.
One of my least favorite things about having the mental capacity for pattern awareness and foresight is that I know that if the regime that we live under now continues into the future, that 20 to 30 years from now, in the same way that we in England told the Windrush, HMS Windrush, all the people that arrived there were invited by the government when they weren't, um, it's that these people will be proselytized as having been invited by the countries. And you'll be able to point to examples like Maloney saying here's almost 500,000 visas for new arrivals from outside of the EU.
Sure.
But they will also say that these people were included
Right.
in those people coming over. There was no Lampedusa. There was no invasion of the boats. These people arrived completely legally and were welcomed with open arms by the locals. The deputy mayor was denounced immediately and furiously by his population as a subversive who wanted to work against the enrichment that all of these people so clearly welcomed into their lives. That will be the narrative.
And my thing to the refugees welcome lot would be, is this what you want? Is this the idea of you welcoming people and redistributing people just across Europe like this as an example? Is that, do you... Let's say that this is just a case of someone that's completely desperate just to have a shower or just to wash their clothes. This is the refugee welcome lot's bidding. This is inadvertently their fault in a way, because they're the ones encouraging this.
They are
with the NGOs.
They are mindless enough, and they lack any sort of internal monologue to allow them to examine their own thoughts. So instead, they have this big cavity in the center of their skull where a normal person would have a brain, and instead it's filled with government and NGO propaganda being blasted into there constantly. That's all that they have in there, and also a little mouse running after a piece of cheese that it can never quite get to. That's the only thing keeping their nervous system going.
Well, they were firing rockets. I don't know where they got fireworks or rockets from, but here is a video of migrants on a boat trying to flee, I believe, to mainland Europe or Italy. And I don't know where they got it from, but they had fireworks and rockets firing at the back, as you saw at the start of the video, where police chased them. And according to this account, they weren't arrested, and they were free to go. According to this account, it needs to be fact checked. But
I mean, they're just shining the flashlights on them. You got a license for that rocket launcher? Yes,
Yeah.
we do actually. Oh, great, carry on.
My question is, where did they get fireworks from? How do they even get access to fireworks or some sort of nautical rocket?
Well, obviously, in the most impoverished parts of Africa, what they're not missing, what they're not lacking is fireworks. That's the only resource that they're rich in, naturally.
Gotcha. Well, let's check in on Info Migrants, a very pro migrant website, to talk about the Lampedusa scenario. I double checked the About section. I don't know if it's possible to bring up the About section. I think if I go... I can do that.
Move about there.
Here we go. On the About section, this is what I want to show you first before we dive into this.
I saw the first sentence in their first little description there. Migration is not new.
Yeah.
Migration is not new. Yeah, this has always been normal. What? Various tribes from Northwest Europe all invaded one another and ended up intermixing and creating England. Third world migration. That's the argument. That's always the argument.
The part I wanted to read out was a partnership between three major news sources. So this is who they are partnered with. Info Migrants is a collaboration led by three major European media sources. France, I'm not going to even try and say that in French, Monde, which is France 24, Radio France Internationale, Monte Carlo, can't even say that word, apologies. The German public broadcaster Deutsche Welle, and the Italian press agency ANSA. Info Migrants is co-financed by the European Union.
Yeah, always the way. The European Union also has different agendas where they've been funding literally I think it's a project called the Becoming a Minority Project,
Right, okay,
which is dedicated to trying to prepare the native populations of Europe to become a minority in their own country. So if the migration has always been here, already happened, why is it that you need to prepare the native populations for this eventuality, which hasn't actually happened in the past?
Yeah.
These are questions that they will not answer.
Well, according to this pro-migrants article, as the number of migrants exceeded the population of Italy's small island of Lampedusa at the end of last week, headlines concentrated on tensions and chaos. But many of the island's residents are trying their best to help by offering water, clothes, and even ice cream to the new arrivals. We know what to do, repeat many of the residents of Lampedusa who speak to Info Migrants. A bit dubious of that personally.
Notice how all of the things that we've been saying have been backed up with video footage, and this has
one man with an ice cream.
One stock image of man with ice cream.
It says the island's small population of just over 6,000 has been watching the numbers of migrants arriving on their island go up and down for many years. And in some ways, they are used to it. So that makes it okay.
Yeah, they're just passive now. They're passive like rabbits. They just go into a shock and let anything happen to them.
And used to coming together to help out where they can. That doesn't mean, though, that some of them do not feel abandoned by successive Italian governments in faraway Rome.
We've got to pay some lip service to,
yes,
to the actual facts that people have seen video evidence of.
Exactly. So in their eyes, it's just, well, we've seen it happen for years and, you know, people come and go. So nothing to worry about. We have ice cream. Everything is good. See if I can go next. So I think this was a reminder of how many migrants have come in through Italy. Since January the 1st, around 118,500 sea migrants have landed on Italian shores, a near record figure that jars with Meloni's election campaign pledges. A reminder, once again, Meloni was on the ticket, like I said earlier, to stop this from happening. And the media turned around and said that she was this far-right figure and that the party was the most far-right party since World War II.
They did everything near to calling her a fascist without outright calling her a fascist. I think she's part of the Brothers of Italy party, which they said, oh, we can trace all the way back to fascism in Italy and Mussolini's party.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Despite the fact that most current parties in Italy can also, unsurprisingly, be traced back to the fascist years of Italy. They were trying to make her out like she was going to be some monster. She was going to start opening fire into the Mediterranean Sea, if only. That's a joke. But she's done nothing. She's made some noises about the gender ideology, and that's the thing that you will see left-wing rags still going on about. Meloni says such and such about trans ideology. Oh, can you believe this? While they silently clap her on as she's letting in record numbers of illegal migrants.
Well, Ursula von der Leyen, the witch of the EU, has rushed to give a solution to this festering problem in Lampedusa. But now we're at 15,550. Yeah. The situation is still very, very bad. And personally, I think it's just going to escalate more and more. I don't think anything will be done for a long time. And I feel bad because the only solution that they are providing is just redistribution into Europe. There doesn't seem to be...
You can't just send them back and say, no, actually, you don't deserve to be here. you're clearly not a refugee. You don't have any circumstances that would make it at all legitimate for you to come here in the first place. Go home. They say, well, we'll try our best to get you somewhere soon.
Exactly. And Maloney proposed a European naval mission not to rescue migrants, but to fight the smugglers and stop departures. She also called for more effective EU instruments for repatriations, as well as greater UN involvement. But I've not seen any of that. But this is the ongoing problem. Stay tuned, I guess, for more in Migration Europe.
If you appreciated that segment from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content that's on the site, such as the premium articles, this one on What is a Fascist, with an audio track for silver and gold tiers. If you'd like to find out what else is being put out, you can follow on Getter at lotuseaters_com on Getter. Thank you and goodbye.